Welcome back to Life Out Loud. I'm Queenie.
I'm Lily.
And today we have a very special topic that we're going to talk about. We want to talk about AAPI to celebrate and also to just bring awareness to Asian Americans in America.
Exactly. And to start our topic today, we're going to talk about me and Queenie's differences in terms of the way we are growing up in the U.S. So hers is growing up in a predominantly more Asian neighborhood in Chinatown, whereas I get to experience kind of growing up in a more predominantly Caucasian neighborhood. So we're going to talk about that. And starting off, we want to talk about a little bit background about me and Queenie. So maybe I'll let Queenie share her story first with us today.
Yes. Sure. So I came to America when I was 3 years old. So I don't remember a lot about being in Hong Kong. That's like where I was born. And then also partly I think I was raised a little bit in Guangzhou as well, which is like part of the southern part of China.
Yeah.
Because my dad lived there with his mom. And so I think like growing up, I came to San Francisco.
Yeah.
So in San Francisco, there is a lot of Asian culture and especially like Chinese culture, a lot of Cantonese people. So, and I also like lived in the hub of Chinatown in my early childhood years up until I think like 10 years old. So I definitely felt, or like I didn't feel any sense of like being other than because that was that was like, you know, like I was so I saw so many people that was like me, that looked like me. But I would say that because there's also other people that I also interacted with in school that were like, I think Hispanic, some were black, some were white. I think that you were totally aware that there's so many different people of like so many diversity.
That's right.
Yeah, I think just growing up in San Francisco, I felt like, I had to accept everybody. And not that I had to accept, but I just like, everybody was the same kind of thing.
It's a huge, I think SF in general and in US is very diverse in terms of the race.
Yeah.
So coming from, you know, like maybe Asia or like in our case, China, it's much more homogenous growing up.
Yeah, I think like because I came here so young, I didn't really remember a lot of like my early years, like first 3 years of my life. But my dad did tell me that like when we were immigrating and flying over to America, that I was like bawling my eyes out. I was like, no, I don't want to go.
No.
But you know, I don't remember that now. Trauma.
Trauma. She forgot the trauma. That's good. That's actually good.
I don't remember it.
So, kind of thinking back, I grew up in the U.S. and I came here kind of like when I was 10. So I do have like longer memory of my childhood in China, where I grew up.
You came here at 10.
Yeah, when I was 10. And then I think I actually went to school in China until the 4th grade in elementary school. So I had some basic, you know, like education, and I kind of grew up in a neighborhood where everyone like knew each other. It's kind of small. And I remember the classrooms are very different from the U.S. If you could imagine in Asian countries, like you don't move to classroom from periods to periods. Instead, the teacher would. Yeah, you would stay in one classroom. So you get really close to your classmates. And at the time, I had maybe like 35 classmates, including myself. So it's still like a sizable amount, but it's you get really close to each other because every grade you go up, like grade 1, grade 2, you stay with the same classroom. So you kind of get really close to each other. And then, of course, you will have different teachers through different periods. And after coming to America, it's like a huge culture shock for me. I remember coming to the U.S. the night maybe or a few nights before I actually went on the airplane. I had like a dream, like a very vivid dream that America was going to be sky rises.
Like New York.
Like New York. And I was like, oh my God, it's going to look so fancy. Like it's going to be so high tech, you know?
Oh, so like you were kind of drawing a fantasy of US, and was it like a good fantasy or just kind of like?
It's a good fantasy.
Okay,
it's a
yeah.
good fantasy. So like that was just a dream I had. I just remember like for some reason
Like
in
you
my
were
head,
excited.
I was very excited. Maybe it's from all the Hollywood movies I
Okay.
watched as a kid.
Okay,
I'm just
okay.
like, oh my god, US is gonna be so cool, right? So amazing. And the moment I landed, because maybe we came to the Bay Area, the moment I landed, I'm like, because the SFO, right? Like we dropped off to the airport. I'm like, wait a minute.
Where's my sky?
Yeah, I was like, dude, you know how, because the freeway going down at the time, there's nothing. It's just desert. It's empty. There's
yeah.
some dry weeds here and there. Like, there's nothing. There's no skyscrapers. You can't even see the houses because there's kind of like the wall that separates the freeway. So you're kind of like,
The wall, that's
101, like you're driving at 101 from SFO. There's like a little brick wall like along the freeway in
yeah.
some areas,
Yeah.
and then it kind of blocks the houses. So I couldn't see anything, and I was just like thinking the whole time. I'm like, oh my god, have I come from a city and I'm going to like the suburbs? Like it really feels that way because I was
You're
like,
like, am I downgrading?
yeah, I was just like, wait a minute, this is not right. Where's my skyscrapers? So like the whole time I was just remembering looking for skyscrapers like for the first week, and I slowly accepted the fact that hey, there's no skyscrapers where I'm like living right now.
Yeah.
It's a very
So did you
cozy
start
town.
off living in San Mateo?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
immediately.
immediately.
Okay, yeah.
I did not
No
go to
skyscrapers.
SFO. Yeah, no skyscrapers. I stayed in San Mateo for most of my, I think, when I'm like early, like 10s. My parents are working all the time, so they don't really bring me out that often. And the only like trips I take is maybe to LA, which isn't like that far off. But yeah, I just remember, wow, US is very different. And the neighborhood I ended up living in San Mateo, is very Caucasian based. It's very heavy. I went to the middle school there, and I remember there was maybe one other or two other Asian in my grade. So like, if you guys can imagine, I was in ESL, English learning class, and I remember all my classmates are actually Spanish speaking. And it definitely feels really like ostracized, I think, in a way. Like I was like, oh my gosh, no one else speaks, Mandarin, no one else speaks Chinese. It's hard for me to make friends because my English wasn't that good, and the cultural speaking, everyone is more assimilated to the US already, whereas as me, I'm just like, everything I do, I feel like I'm bragging like I'm still
You're
like as a Chinese student.
You're so different. You felt so different.
So different. Like one of the fun thing that I did in class is, you know how in the US, like if you want to answer a question or have a question for the teacher, you might raise your hand or you can just shout, right? People like when like in middle school, they're like that. But me, I brought my habits from Shanghai
You
or
like
China.
stand up.
No, I would just sit like this the whole time. Like, you know how kids are just like that, lounging around, sitting wherever they're comfortable. But I'm sitting like this with my hands crossed and placed on the table, my back straight. And when I have a question, I don't go like this. I go like this. Like,
Oh,
I don't
that
know if
was
you've
like
seen
the custom or like
Yes.
the how the school system taught you to behave
Yeah.
in China.
In
And so
China.
you kind of like were just like used to that, and so you
Yes.
did that.
I did that. It's so funny. Everyone's like, what the heck? Like everyone's giving me like, is she weird? But honestly, that's how they did it. Like I thought in the US it would be the same. Like, oh, I have a question. I go like this and I wait for the teacher to be called on me. And sometimes the teacher is like, yes, Lily. I'm like, oh, I can answer the question, because they didn't really understand what the heck I'm doing with my hand. And
Yeah, I mean, I
Yeah.
can imagine also that you look very like polished, or I don't know, like because you're like sitting with your back straight and all that. You're kind of like I'm a model student.
I am. I felt really good about. Honestly, the funny thing is, I felt really good doing that. I'm just like, oh, look at these
I'm
savages.
different, but like I'm like above.
Yeah, I'm just like, how are you guys like? When people are just like shouting stuff, I'm like, oh my god,
Oh my God,
Like,
these
why would
savages.
these savages. I'm like, I'm over here. I'm just like, ugh, look at me. Like teacher, like definitely a teacher's pet. Like teacher definitely liked me better because I'm just like, elegantly sitting here with my arms like, I'm ready to.
I don't
be
think
called
we
up.
would have gotten along when we were younger if we
Yeah.
were in the same school, because I was
Yeah.
like I was a savage.
You were a savage.
Yeah, I like didn't pay attention in class. I'd be like,
Yeah.
ah,
No, I think that's just how it is. Like the teaching system in the U.S.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think they encourage a lot of people like kind of expressing themselves, freedom of expressing themselves. Whereas in China at the time where I learned the education,
Repressed.
it's really repressed. It's like you have to follow these rules. If you act like you, like in China, like, you get, like, you have to stand up for the whole period.
get
They'll be
beat
like,
up.
yeah, well, you don't get beat up, but they'll be like, okay, Queen, stand up, you know, like
public shaming,
public shaming. They do that a lot. Yeah. Humiliation, because in China they really care about, like, you know, are you following the order? Like, yeah, if they tell you everyone does this and you start shouting, they think you're like a delinquent, like you're not good, and they will call you out. They'll tell your parents. They make a big deal about it, which is why I became the way I am, I think. Yeah. There's something that's pretty funny. So growing up in China, we learned the England English. So that means I have, like, instead of saying can't, you can't. They say you can't, right? And then so of course you can't exactly. Of course I get made fun of a lot, you know. When I'm like talking to my classmates, I was like, you can't do that, you know, or something like that. Sorry for my poor accent. And then my classmate's like, what? What did you say? You mean you can't? I'm like, no, it's can't. Come on, it's not can't, it's can't.
You're like, but I know. I learned it.
And of course, you know, like some people are like, no, cunt. You know, cunt sounds like the word. Yeah. So people are like, oh my God, Lily. And then there was also another time I forgot my eraser. And in China, we were learning how to say eraser. We say rubber. That's how they say it at the time in the old British way. They're like rubber, and I'm like, can I borrow your rubber? And they're like, Lily, oh my God, I don't have rubber. Like, what do you mean? You know?
Like, where would I get rubber?
Yeah. Like, I mean, if you know, you know. They're talking about, you know what?
But like, I mean, you guys are like
11
years old. They probably don't know the differences yet.
Yeah. Like, it's really uncomfortable for me because I'm like super innocent. I'm just like, what do you mean? I want an eraser. Like, well, I didn't see eraser.
What do you mean innocent? Did they think it was something else?
My classmates are very advanced in terms of like maturity. So they thought I'm talking about, you know, the protection wear.
Like condoms?
Yes. And I didn't even know those were
I literally
thing.
didn't think about that.
I didn't learn about this at all.
Condoms not even made of rubber?
It's not, but I think like for some reason, like I guess the moment I said rubber, they're like, "Oh my God, Lily!" I'm like, I didn't get it.
They're like, "Lily, you're so promiscuous right now."
No, seriously, I think that's what they said. But like, I have no idea. For the whole semester, I was like, "What the heck?" Like, you know, like I want eraser. I don't know why they're laughing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and then I remember another classmate, this is also an inside joke, you know how, like, you know, there are people make fun of the number 69. And, oh my God, I have no idea growing up, like, because I come from China. We don't know what the heck 69 mean. And then for some reason, people here are very mature. Even at 11 or 10, they're like they literally, one dude drew the number on the paper and they're like, Lily, what does it look like?
Oh my God, this is going into another topic because, no, I'm serious. Yeah. I'm serious because like I was also similar to you. Sorry to cut you, but you can finish your story first.
So he drew the number and he asked me, what does it look like to you? And I'm like, it's a fish. And he's like, no, what does it look like? Think hard, think. And I'm like, for the longest time, I didn't get it. Okay, this is until I'm way older when I'm just like, oh wait, the memory kind of flows back. That's what they meant.
Yeah, I was gonna say how like I was also very, very innocent. Like until I think maybe until like 4th or 5th grade when everybody seemed to like know all the sex jokes and like they would make fun of you if you like, or like they'll ask like, oh, are you a virgin? I'd be like, what is a virgin?
Yeah, what is a virgin?
Yeah, and then like now that I think about it as an adult, like if a kid asked me that, right, like everybody should say yes.
Yes.
Right? And it shouldn't even be considered an embarrassing thing.
No.
But then like they like make fun of people like if you're a virgin. I'm like, what the heck? Like even in 5th grade. In 5th grade, not middle school.
Yeah. It's crazy because you can see like, you know, growing up, you and I share so much like similarities in terms of like, you know, experiencing
cultural
that.
shock. This is a cultural shock.
It's a culture shock for sure. Like I think a lot of cultures definitely are more conservative and the kids at that age really don't really get exposed to a lot of those type of medias. Whereas in America, I think people are very like maybe more open to talk about it.
I think so.
So that's a huge.
I don't know if that's a good open. You know, like or like open, right? But like I think we're a little too too open.
It's
in
a little
that
too
sense.
open,
Yeah.
I would say, but you know, like to
Or
each
too
of their
early
own.
to be that,
is.
like, you know.
It is very early. I think like in terms of in America, like maybe this is a topic for another day, but I keep talking about it. But I think in America, like you said, people don't like virgin. They think it's a bad thing, and a lot of times, like I think people want to lose their V card, right?
Immediately.
They call it immediately,
Yeah.
and they're so proud of it. But like in a way, it's like at that age, do you even understand what it means?
What it means,
like
yeah.
what you're doing, like finding the right person
Yeah.
for you. Like it's a lot of things, like because your brain is still growing at that stage, and you're very innocent. You're not really sure, and I feel like
Yeah.
sometimes you're just getting peer pressure to doing something
Yeah.
that you think like, oh,
Because you don't want to
everyone's
be
doing
like,
it.
you don't want to be the odd one out kind of
No.
thing. But then, like, if you, like, that's literally like a life altering
It is.
kind of, it could be a life altering
could be.
experience
It
for
could be.
some people.
Yeah.
And also, like, I think especially in China and Chinese culture, right? Like,
Yeah.
we're very conservative.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if it's like a purity culture. Is it? What you say?
Yes, actually, in China, it's quite the opposite. I'm glad you brought it up. In China, like as of reason, when I'm on Xiaohongshu and stuff like that, people actually praise virginity in China. Much the opposite of the U.S. where
You
people
mean
are
now
like,
or like back then?
even now,
Okay.
now, like this is talking about reason. Like this year, I think people in China would rather date someone who is a virgin or someone like they talk about it with pride.
Yeah,
and
they
talk
don't like
about-
promiscuity, right?
no, they
Yeah.
don't. They don't. It's really funny because I think a lot of there's some women, I believe, woman empowerment movement right now in China, and I think a lot of women are saying like, okay, I want a guy who is also a virgin, like because I'm a virgin, I also want to date someone who is a virgin, and if a guy is not a virgin, they might even give them like nicknames, like saying, oh, for example, dirty cucumber.
Oh.
Yeah, you're a dirty cucumber. If you guys can imagine that, because you know it's kind of just saying that you've been tainted and you're not a virgin. And it's just saying it's an empowerment. It's a very powerful thing for a woman in China, just because for the longest time, people like the men in China,
Yeah, the
they
men
only want to
are-
date or marry virgins. Okay, that's a real thing.
But also, men are encouraged to
Yeah.
even like be like have multiple partners or whatever, right? In Chinese culture, at least that's what I hear from my friends.
multiple partner.
Or like to cheat or whatever. Like it's not like they're encouraged to do that
Yeah.
like socially, but
Yeah.
then it's very common that it happens. Like
I
what
think
do you
so.
think about that?
Well, the thing is, I think like in any Asian culture, especially I think China, Japan, and Korea, like kind of the culture that we're kind of grouped in, is that I see a lot of men having like in society wise, like the equality is usually the guy is viewed as someone who's a little bit superior. Okay, they have more money making power, and as a woman, especially like if you look at Japan, a lot of women like back in the days they just want to be a household wife, so they would
It's not
be
that they want to, but that they are. That's like the
are.
only option
yeah,
at that time.
but
Yeah.
nowadays they also want to
Yeah.
find jobs, but back then it's like it's a norm that you go home, you take care of the kids, you take care of all the household duties, where the man goes out and take care of business, right? So it's true. I'm not exactly sure if it's a thing that men are allowed to have multiple partners. I'm not aware of that. As far as I know, I think they still want monogamous, like one husband, one wife, and one boyfriend, one girl. Like they don't like cheating in China either.
Oh really? Oh, my friend
don't.
tells me the opposite.
That's very
Yeah.
interesting.
Or like it's not that they might not have like two wives, but
Yeah.
they will have like one like a wife, and then they'll like basically cheat in the background, and their wife sometimes have to be okay with that kind of
That
thing.
is crazy.
Yeah.
So like I'm not like close enough to the Chinese culture because I haven't been back to like China forever since like I was 18. Like it's been a really long time, you guys.
These are all my just
Yeah.
like things I hear.
Yeah.
So I could be wrong, guys.
yeah, Queenie could be wrong, but also like I can't say yes or no to that because I haven't been there for a long time,
Yeah.
and I
And also
personally
you
am not
haven't
sure.
experienced like the dating culture
I have
in
not.
China. Yeah.
I'm not. But like from online, just Xiaohongshu or like other websites I use alone, it seems that the both parties still prefers monogamous, at least on paper. I don't know behind the closed doors, like if they are wanting like a third, third wheel, should we call it? But yeah.
I wouldn't say that's a third wheel. That's a like I don't know.
Like in Chinese, it's called 小三, like little third. Like they call it the little third. Like the third, like if, for example, a husband and wife gets married and the guy has another lady outside.
Oh, it's called a little third.
Yeah, little three, 小三. That would be like, oh, 小三, you know, so which just translates to little three, which in my mind, I was like, oh, English versions maybe like the third wheel because both are three. But you know, you guys
Culturally
know what I mean.
in here, it's
Yeah.
like third wheel is like, oh, you're the odd one out.
Right.
Yeah, you make everything unbalanced.
Yeah,
kind of thing.
so it's probably not the right translation, but
Okay, well, also, like, you were saying how, like, the women's empowerment movement
Yeah.
in China, right?
Yeah.
Kind of calls men who have had sex before,
Yeah.
like, dirty cucumber or whatever,
Yeah.
right? But, like, here,
Yeah.
men are praised.
Exactly.
Or, like, yeah, they call them, like, a playboy or
a
like,
playboy,
or like
a
whatever.
pimp.
Yeah, a pimp, right?
Yeah.
And it's not like a shaming
No.
connotation. It's
Yeah.
like actually like, yo, you're a pimp, you know?
Yeah.
Like it's so different.
Like a jog, like
Yeah.
you know, they actually like kind of the movie that we say teenage movies. Like we see the popular guys. Popular guys always have a bunch of girls.
Yeah.
and they're usually experienced. You know, they've been dating around.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to date a handsome guy,
Yeah.
right, on the football team or something
Yeah.
like that. But it's very interesting because in China, like yes, people still view someone popular and dating a lot. It's like wow, he's amazing. But I think there is just this new movement that I've been seeing that people are making these posts and threads talking about, hey, you know, like I want to marry someone who's also a virgin, who's clean, just like me.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how did this started, but I think, you know, culturally speaking, that it would be one of the differences. Yeah.
Yeah, because I think maybe more women are expected to be virgins
Yeah.
until like marriage or whatever.
Absolutely, yeah.
Versus like for men, maybe they don't, you know.
They don't have to. Like when there's a dynasty era, like long time ago, like 2,000 years
Yeah.
ago, when there's dynasty era, a man like the emperor can have multiple wives.
Yeah,
So there's
yeah, yeah.
polygamous, right? But as a woman, you always have to be a virgin.
Yeah, to keep yourself, you know,
Exactly.
like pure and yeah.
Like, and you marry young back then too, like
Yeah.
maybe 13, 14, you're married off.
Yeah.
And like afterwards, like on the night of your, like you're gonna consummate, right, your marriage, the next day they'll come and see if there's any blood on the little
Oh yeah, they
drape.
check.
They check
Yeah.
to make sure that you're a virgin. If
Yeah.
you don't have blood, they're be like, oh my god, you're not a virgin. Because back in the days, they don't really understand these scientific things. They always think, oh, if you're a virgin means I see blood. But there's really no
But it's not always
correlation.
the case.
It's
Yeah.
not the case, you guys. So yeah, that's it's very interesting.
It's very interesting that we talked about this
Yeah.
specific topic.
Yeah.
Because I didn't expect this to come up.
I
yeah.
didn't expect it either. It kind of just like went, but I thought it's
Yeah.
interesting. You know, it is
Yeah, it
definitely
is.
a culture
It is.
difference.
Yeah, it is.
We're going on the next topic, talking about ostracization and feeling kind of like just being different. So I'm gonna let Queenie take this again. Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, I kind of talked about how I haven't really experienced like, I would say like blatant racism, but I would say that I've had a lot of feelings of like being different and growing up here in America. Like I think especially growing up in Chinatown, like I think being Chinese was also
Yeah.
synonymous with being poor, or like at least like when you're like a like a fob, right? Like because a lot of us have like immigrant parents, they
Yeah.
don't have like really kind of like lucrative jobs that like pay well and stuff like
That's
that.
right.
So then I think when I was I think in 4th or 5th grade, that was sort of when I started to see like, oh, there are differences between like class,
Yeah.
and also like how it's correlated with race. So like for me, like my family, we never grew up with like a lot of pop culture things.
Yeah.
Like we didn't have Disney Channel, we didn't have Cartoon Network.
Yeah.
Until I would say like maybe 5th grade or middle school even. So I didn't know about Hannah Montana.
Oh.
And I remember like in 5th grade,
Yeah.
I met these 2 or 3 also Asian people, but
Yeah.
then like because they were, I think like they just grew up with more of a culturally like American culture, they were like, you don't know Hannah Montana? Like you suck. or like they didn't say you
Yeah.
suck, but then like it just like made me feel like a loser, you know,
Yeah,
for
yeah, for
not
sure.
knowing things.
Yeah.
So I kind of felt a lot of those moments where like I just didn't know a lot of things that I felt like maybe growing up in America I should know. And that also happened when I was going to like a camp thing in, I would say, high school. And like the people that I met there, they were mostly white.
Yeah.
And I remember I couldn't get along with them at all.
Oh, no.
Because like they
Yeah.
just talked about a lot of like books and movies and
Yeah.
films that like I've never watched in my life, because
Yeah.
like my parents aren't into film.
Yeah.
They, even if they were into film, like
They won't have the time to bring
Yeah.
you to a movie theater.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like they don't have time to invest in my interests, and also like I
Exactly.
didn't know about these things, right? Until you meet someone who's like, you should watch this movie. It's so
Exactly.
good, you know?
Like not everyone has on-demand cable
Yeah,
TV,
exactly.
guys.
Yeah, and also like I don't think my parents were even aware of like that, like in America that people watch these kinds of like shows, right?
Yeah.
So I think that would be like my main sense of like feeling different, is that like I just didn't know about a lot of like pop culture or like just American culture
Yeah.
in general. Yeah.
I feel that. So mine, I think, is a little bit more extreme, I guess, because I grew up in the predominantly white neighborhood. So instead of like kind of like yours is more like maybe micro, mine is like you said, it's racist, right? Like I think about it, and then kids at back then they don't really understand that well, you know. They understand a little bit, like, oh, I'm being mean, but like to them it's like it's fun, everyone's doing it, it's fun,
Yeah.
it's a cool kids thing, right? So I had like my classmates in ESL, they would be like calling me, oh, chinking chink, or like they'll be like ching chong, like I don't like that, you know. And then
Did you know what they were talking about?
Yes, so at the time, even though my English wasn't like good, but then I can tell they're being mean, like the way they say words, and I don't know, like maybe even like as humans, we just have like a little
I
sixth
think
sense
so. I
for,
think it's like
being
the
mean
tone,
to you.
maybe. It's like it's kind of like a
Yeah.
very like demeaning tone. Like,
a
so
very
even though you
demeaning-
don't know what they're saying, you're like, you know the connotation of
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Like I slowly learned over a year what it means, but like it doesn't sound good because I can tell they're trying to imitate the Chinese accent, but it's just like it's kind of rude and like it's uncalled for. I don't understand why people do that. And then I remember like another, like, so not all my classes are ESL. I have other classes when my group was regular American speakers. And I remember one of the guys, so I remember I was actually volunteering or doing part-time at the school cafeteria because I want to improve my English at the time. So like I would just go there. Also, they give you a little bit like free lunch, like $3 free lunch, which is really nice back then. But I would try to practice my my English with them, so people will come
With the cafeteria people, or
Yeah.
just like the people you were serving?
cafeteria. So like with people I'm serving. So and back then, I don't know about your middle school, but we had like an open layout with cafeteria, and then so there's like different stalls, and that would be one of the window, and then people would come like lined up, and they'll be like, oh, I want a pizza pocket and like a chocolate milk, for example.
Oh, so you were helping kind of like sell things.
Yes, if you can imagine, and my English still sucks now, which is pretty funny. But I'm
Oh no,
pretty
my school
bold.
never did that. It was
Yeah.
all lunch ladies.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. My school had that, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do it. You know, it's like free lunch is cool. Like, I don't want to bring sandwiches. I
Also,
want
like
pizza.
you're
Yeah.
just like, I feel like Asian people are so like
Yeah.
willing to serve and be productive and stuff like that.
guess
So you're
so.
like, I can't speak English, but let me just do it anyway.
Yes, let me do it anyway. And, like, you don't get paid. You get like free lunch,
Yeah,
but you
yeah.
don't get paid. But so people will come like, oh, I want this, and then we have a little notepad in front of us, like with a pencil, and we have to calculate it on paper how much it is.
Yeah.
Like, cause back then you don't get a calculator.
Oh.
Yeah, you had to memorize all the costs of the items, and you had to do. So you had to have being good at math. Okay. And then,
The thing that she's good at, of course,
God.
you know, because
Thank God.
obviously she's
I'm Asian, and almost like everyone else is Asian except just one white, student, like this guy student. He's nice, but everyone else is Asian, like the students.
oh, like the ones doing it.
yeah, because like, come on. It's like, okay, you get a piece of paper and you're like, because it gets really fast and busy, and you're like, because it's all like not a round number. It's not like, oh, this is $1, that's $2. The pizza pocket, they made it 89 cents. Why? You know what I mean? Most of the things is like, okay, like $3.25, $3.75, but pizza pocket, they made that 89 cents. It's like something I can't
Weirdly, yeah.
let go. Okay, so it makes it's very painful when people buy pizza pockets and stuff like that. So I remember I'm doing that, and I remember giving back the change, and I would tell them how much it costs. And I used to not be able to pronounce the like three. I can't say the word
You're like,
three.
"See?"
Yeah, three. So like, three. And I say some, instead of saying some things, I would say something, like a
Something.
saying. Yeah, because I don't know how to pronounce words that requires me to kind of bite my tongue a little bit to pronounce.
Yeah.
Because in Chinese, it's like, it's really different,
Yeah.
right? So then I will always say 3.99, right? And then like, I don't know, maybe I just cracked someone up. Like this one dude I remember, he would laugh
In your face?
Yes. And then he had the same math class as me, and then he literally we were in one group, like we just happened to be a group, and he'll be like, Lily, say three one more time. I'm like, and I know he's trying to like make fun of me, like, because he knows I can't.
He's
say
trying
the
to
word
set you
three.
up for a joke.
Yes,
Yeah.
he's trying to set me up as a joke, but I was smart. I caught on to that.
You're like,
and
3.
yes, that's the first time I was able to say three correctly. I think my mind just slows down because I don't want to be embarrassed, and I'm just like, 3. And then he's like, huh? And he was just like dumbfounded. He's like, what? And then the other classmate is just like, no, what's so funny? And then he's like, no, 3 more times, like 3. And he's like, oh, okay. You know, like the joke is gone because I can say the word 3 now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You saved yourself
I saved myself.
from humiliation.
Humiliation.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this is just kind of like a little bit of discrimination I experienced through like middle school with classmates and also with teachers, mind you. A lot of teachers, they are not, I guess they're not used to dealing with a lot of Asian students who don't speak a word of English. And as Asian students, a lot of times growing up, we want to be like teacher's pet. We want to get good grades. So we actually go up to teacher and we ask, like, if the teacher gives you detention, oh my God, I thought it was over for me. It was the end of the world. I cried. I bawled my eyes out. I'm like, please, teacher, I don't want detention. Because I have no idea what it meant. I thought it's going to go on my record or something,
Oh,
you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, no one explained that to me.
Yeah.
And then I remember the teacher just not having the patience to deal with students, like the Asian students at the time. Like I would be explaining to the teacher that it's really not my fault that, you know, I wasn't in my seat because another girl took my seat and I had to sit somewhere else because she wouldn't move, right? And then the teacher just gave us both like detention. And I'm like, but it's not my fault and I can't explain
And you don't know how
to
to
her.
defend yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, and I tried to use like, no, she sit, and but the teacher's like, no, like they don't have the time, they don't have the patience to really understand the students. Same thing was a lot of, you know, racism and bullying. Like I did bring it up to one of the other art teacher. I remember at the time one girl was being very mean to me and very snarky, like for no reason, maybe because I was the only Asian in that class and I'm very quiet because I don't speak English. Like she would take, like, for example, if I wanted to, because we're all sharing the art pencils, she would be very mean to me. Like I wanted to use an orange, like that's closer to her, and she would like just
Immediately take it from your hand.
Immediately take it or throw it or something. Like it was something really snarky and very like mean. And I remember that girl a lot because like she's a mean. Like some people like.
Do you think she's just mean, or do you think she's being racist?
I think it's mean. I think she's just a mean person. Because I'll tell you what, like maybe she feels like she can take it out on the quiet girl because it seems I don't speak English and I can't defend myself. But
easy target.
I'm an easy target, and maybe, you know, now that I'm older, I'm like, maybe it just hurt. Maybe childhood really shaped someone, right?
Yeah.
So I don't really blame her anymore. But at the time, I used to remember to bring it to the art teacher. And art teacher, like, because again, unfun bullying was my English, and then she just doesn't care. She's like, okay, bye. You know, like, I remember just brushing me off. She's like, okay. Because she really can't understand me, and she really doesn't want to, you know,
take the time to
try
to listen. And
exactly.
Yeah.
And, you know, talking about teachers like that, I also want to bring light to other teachers. There's one orchestra teacher I used to have. He is like the nicest person I've ever met. He's handsome, and he plays, like, one thing I remember, he plays Britney Spears' Toxic, the music video. When it came out, he played it for us on repeat. Because he really likes Britney Spears. He's like, oh, this MD is really good. But it's not children appropriate.
I know.
Yeah.
I was going to say that.
Yeah. But he's really, really nice. And then I think last time I think he went on tour was this like really well-known band. Like he's actually, you know, he's doing well for himself. And he's a very talented, I think, saxophone player. And he does a lot of trumpets and stuff. So I was in orchestra. Like he alone made me join orchestra because he was so nice to me.
Aww.
I saw the violin. I didn't even have a violin. And he's like, no, you should, you know, sign up for orchestra. Yeah. And then one thing I always remember is like he was, like even though I don't speak English, he's so patient with me, you guys. He's like, oh, it's okay, Lily. Like, no, I'm listening, you know, just like slowly, you know.
Oh, so
I
he was
understand."
Asian.
No, he's white.
Oh, okay.
And I remember one time I was getting bullied, or I got like some threats like from this other girl who's like, "Oh, Lily, I meet you after school. Like, I'm gonna beat you up for no reason because like."
Oh my god, you
yeah.
experienced bullying.
I did. That girl's very big, and she maybe, I don't know, again, like, I don't know her background, but she tends to kind of use violence, like threats on people, and I usually don't really deal with her because she just like copies my tests and stuff like that, and I don't really care. But I think there was an issue at the time between me and one of my other friends and her. My other friend told her, "Oh, Lily, something about that I didn't even do myself, something that she experienced." And then the other girl's like, "Okay, I'll take care of it for you." And then she came to me and be like, "Lily, I'll meet you. Like, I'm gonna beat you up."
Oh.
Like, she's kind of standing up for our mutual friend. But the crazy thing is, like, I had really had nothing to do with it. It's a very crazy. It's like a whole nother story, honestly, for another day. But like, just so you guys know, I am just a 10-year-old who just like freaking out when she told me. So then I did the only thing I can do is running to my orchestra teacher because it was
Oh,
it
the only
was, like,
person that kind of like made you feel like heard and safe.
yeah, and also it was like right after our orchestra performance at the time, you know. So I was already like sitting with them, so I ran over to him, and at the time, the vice principal was also there. So then when I explained to him, he's like, "Oh well, don't worry, you're not gonna get beat up. Like, we'll take care of it. Like, what's her name, you know?" And thankfully, I did not get beat up, but she did get suspended. The girl who made the threats, and afterwards she kind of left me alone. Like, she never like tried to talk to me again or make threats because like she's like, "Oh no, I guess you can't mess with Lily because you know."
Yeah, that's why teachers are so important. Yeah.
They are like, and I'm so thankful to this day. Like, I think I'll be very miserable without that orchestra teacher because as you can think, like in that like school, like most of the teacher really, even the ESL teacher, she's patient most of the time, but like there are gonna be days where she just doesn't want to like listen to someone blabbering,
Yeah.
you know. And I understand that, but like as a kid, it really feels like you're alone.
Yeah, I think for you, because you had some sort of like awareness and like because you came at 10, you remember the stark difference between like how life was before you came to America and how life was after you came to America, and the adjustment period, right, was very difficult.
It's very difficult.
For me, I don't remember it at all.
I know. You came like when you were 3.
Yeah,
it's
so
like
I
it's
don't
much
think I even
younger.
really learned like Chinese that much probably.
Yeah.
And so I think like I was just learning English around the same time as everybody else,
Yeah.
I think. So I definitely didn't experience a lot of these things. But I do remember like a lot of people did like make fun of my eyes because I do have a little bit more of a like a small
like almond,
small
like raised eyes.
like monolid.
Yeah.
Especially when I was younger.
Yeah.
Like right now, I think I have like a crease because
Yeah.
like as you age, your skin gets thinner.
Yeah.
But when I was younger, like it was like just monolids. So then I didn't experience this from like other people from other races. It's actually just from Asian people. They would say like, "Oh yeah, your eyes are so small. Like it's like you look so Asian."
That's the thing. I think the sad thing is, I think people actually like pay attention to things that they care about the most themselves.
Yeah.
I think growing up as an Asian, I think a lot of people probably heard a joke like, "You're Asian," like they do the little eyes, right? You're a rice farmer, right?
But also, I think the beauty standard of being Chinese or Asian, right? It's like even as kids, they just want that.
They do.
Yeah.
They do. I think it's like actually the beauty standard has always been kind of like more westernized. Like I think big eyes, double eyelid, a tall nose, right?
Yeah, that
Stuff
has
like
been
that.
the beauty standard.
Yeah.
But then like because they adopted that beauty
Yeah.
standard, they make fun of their own people for having ethnically, you know, like ethnic features.
Growing up, I really care about parents a lot because maybe the way I was raised by my parents, like people would be like, "Oh, Lily, you know, your face is too round. Oh, Lily, like your nose is too like flat, or your eyes are too like not good enough." Like it's always like things are never good enough in Asian households. Like I think people are very critical. Like, and
But would
you're
you say
right.
it's like
Yeah.
Asian, or like your parents or like other Asian adults, right,
Yeah.
around you.
Basically.
Yeah,
Like,
I would say it's the
funny.
same thing. It's like
Yeah.
from Asian people that I'm getting all
It's
these
from Asian people.
things from.
And it's so sad because you would think like, oh, Asians would be more accepting of other Asians because we literally are Asian and we
Yeah,
have Asian
exactly.
features. But no, Asians are super, super hard on themselves too because I don't know what it is, but they have an ideal of beauty, right? It's all very standardized. And when you're not in that ideal, your parents subconsciously will be like, oh, I wish your eyes were like this. I wish your nose is a little bit bigger. Like stuff like that. And it really hurts. People don't understand what that does to a kid's self-confidence.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we get older, like no wonder we're lacking self-confidence because we never felt comfortable.
Yeah, I remember asking my mom, like, because she has double eyelids, and I was
Yeah.
like, why doesn't my eyes look like yours? And then
Yeah.
she's like, oh, my eyes used to look like yours until I got older.
Well,
And I was
go.
like, so then, like,
Yeah.
in middle school, I remember actually doing this thing where I would,
Yeah.
like, stick my finger into my eye to
Oh,
create
no.
a crease
Yeah.
and, like, hold it. I would try, like,
Yeah.
hold it.
Yeah.
And then, like, one of my friends actually pointed it out. She was like,
Yeah.
your eyes look weird. Like, what's going on? Did you get bitten by something? I was like, no.
What
my
do you
eyes are
mean?
natural. I remember that so like clearly in my
Yeah.
mind, but I was just like so ashamed of like my
Yeah.
monolids at the time.
Yeah.
But like I even thought about getting what's it called, like surgery.
Uh-huh.
I think in high school, about like around that time.
Yeah.
But then I learned to love myself
That's
and
good.
accept my eyes the way
That's
they
good.
are.
That's good. I think your eyes are beautiful and it's very
Thank
unique.
you.
Yeah, it's one of your like signature feature. Like that's the thing. A lot of people always think like, oh, I want to have like just like
Yeah.
everyone else. But then once they actually do the surgery, they
Yeah.
realize it doesn't fit that. It doesn't.
It doesn't
frame
fit
them.
the rest of their face.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You'll just look really odd.
Yeah.
Like you won't look better. You just look odd. So it's not.
Especially if
yeah.
you do like a lot of alterations. I think like
Exactly.
maybe one or two alterations sometimes could enhance things.
Yeah.
But sometimes if you just do everything, I'm like, yo, you look like a copy and paste version of everybody else.
Like a foreign, like
Yeah.
a foreigner. Like I've seen girls, like as someone with a background in plastic surgery, because I worked there as an RN. I know people like personally that did so many surgeries that they look like a completely different race, right? But they're happy, and that's all that matters at the end of the day. But still, like a lot of times, I think it stemmed from a deep rooted like lack
Low
of confidence.
self-esteem, yeah.
Yeah, because maybe they're growing up. Maybe they never had the parent or like, the support to tell them, hey, you
You're
look
beautiful,
amazing.
yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, and it's so sad. And it's very prevalent. I think maybe in white families, I think maybe the culture is better where parents are a little bit more supportive of their kids and calling them beautiful and things like that. But in
I
Asian
don't know.
culture,
I think it's
Really?
still prevalent everywhere.
calling people beautiful?
No. I
Oh.
mean, like even American households, I would say.
They will also kind of like be mean to the kids, like, hey,
I don't think
eyes are
they're
not-
mean, but then I
Yeah.
think I feel like in middle school and high school, everybody is just picking at themselves, right? Like they're
that's true.
so like they're just like picking at all the
They're all-
imperfections.
They're all hard
would
on
say.
themselves.
Yeah.
And that's why I think it's especially important for parents to recognize that behavior
Yeah.
and like give reassurance to your kids.
Yeah.
Like they're beautiful the way they are. And I'm not saying like, hey, natural beauty or like, plastic surgery. It's not about that. It's about just feeling comfortable in your own skin.
Yeah. For sure.
For sure.
Yeah, I even thought about like my nose
Yeah.
and how like I think when I was younger, my mom
Yeah.
would like pinch my nose
Oh
bridge.
yeah, my grandma did
she would
that.
she would like
Yeah.
pinch it.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, "What are you doing?" And then
Yeah.
she was like, "Oh, like it will help you grow a taller nose bridge because she
Yeah.
has like a short nose bridge."
Yeah.
And she was like, "I don't want you to be like me."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Why?
Yeah.
Your nose looks fine. It's just
Yeah.
a nose, you know."
Did that work though?
I think my nose bridge is taller than hers, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's from her pinching me.
Yeah, so this is a myth busted. So that is actually a myth.
Yeah, I think so.
I'll bust that myth. Like pinching your nose as a kid, it would just cause irritation. It wouldn't really change the bone structure.
Yeah.
But some people swears by it, and that's
Yeah.
totally fine.
They
you
think
know?
it like maybe brings more circulation, so then it like I don't know, maybe it'll help the bone and the cartilage grow or something. I don't know.
There's always a chance.
Yeah.
Like, maybe not to a degree that will make a major difference,
Yeah.
but there's always a chance there
Yeah.
could be something there. But really, it's genetics.
Yeah,
The type
for
of
sure.
nose, the type of eyes, and sometimes people change a lot. Like when
Mm-hmm.
you were younger, you probably didn't look like the you are today, right? Because the body fat and stuff, you lose it.
Oh
and
yeah.
yeah.
Oh my
it's,
god.
It's
I'm
totally
losing
different.
so much body fat. Like collagen, I mean.
Collagen.
Yeah.
But I think you look good because I think as Asians, we are actually like sometimes like our upper eyelid is too much like, like fat and stuff like that. So when
Yeah.
we lose the baby fat, we actually look a lot better versus more younger. So I guess the next topic we're going to talk about is how we feel as Asians today. And in terms of, do we feel more prideful being Asian or if any of that has changed for you culturally? Yeah.
I think for me, I feel like I'm a little bit like a banana.
Yes. Yes.
Because like I look Chinese, but I feel like a lot of me inside is white. Not like very white.
Like culturally speaking.
Yeah, I would say so. And I think over time I've also learned a lot about like just the experience of being American and also like pop culture and stuff like that too.
Yeah.
So then I feel like, oh, that's like very ingrained in me now. And I want to actually connect more with like my Asian heritage because I also have a lot of friends who are like they are like kind of like
From China?
from China
Yeah.
and they like grew up with more like years in China, so
Yeah.
then they like speak Mandarin, they speak
Yeah.
Cantonese really well.
Yeah.
And I like don't speak Mandarin at
Yeah.
all. I can maybe hear like a little bit of it, but I only speak Cantonese with my parents and my friends that do speak Cantonese, and I realized that I actually have an accent when I speak Cantonese because I recorded myself recently and I listened over it and I was like, why do I sound like a white person speaking Cantonese? I was just so, oh my god, I was like so annoyed at that. So I really actually like if I do get any opportunity to like go back to Hong Kong or like to live there potentially, like I would take that like in a heartbeat because I definitely want to like immerse myself in that culture more. But I would say that I like feel close to my culture because of my friends, I would say. Like from you, from like, all my friends who they like introduced me to like Chinese food that I don't know about. Like, I don't know, like chicken feet.
Chicken feet.
or like chicken or giblet. Is it giblet?
Giblet,
Giblet, giblet. Like I've never eaten that in my whole life because my mom has never cooked it or anything like that. So then like they would bring me to these restaurants and like we would eat those things and I'd be like, I don't know about this. And like but like I eat it and I'm like, oh, this is great. I love it.
They should be like, just eat it and then we'll tell you what it is later.
Yeah. And also, okay, I want to say like China is so big.
It is.
That like if you're from the northern or like from specific parts of China, it's like so different from like being from Hong Kong or being from Guangzhou, which is I would say a little bit more like Cantonese speaking and less Mandarin, I would say. Right? Because I think like Cantonese people are very like loud and like chaotic, I would say even.
They can be.
They're very hardworking people, very like
they're very warm. They're very warm.
Warm?
Yeah. Like
I don't agree, but
you don't agree? They're cold.
Actually no, okay.
Yeah.
They're very warm to people who speak Cantonese and like they're people. They're people.
Yeah, they're people. Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
They might not be as nice to people who don't speak Cantonese. Like if you go there as like a Chinese tourist and you're like trying to speak Mandarin with them, they might be like, who's this, tourist,
Yeah. And also, like, I was gonna say how, like, as I grew up, I also realized that there were, like, Chinese, like, to be calling yourself a Chinese person is, like, what do you, are like, I was questioning, like, oh, what do I actually represent as, like, a Chinese person? Because Chinese is so, like, diverse in itself.
Yeah.
And also, like, international Chinese people are so different from, like, me and also like a lot of ABCs, right?
That's right.
It's
international students are very different too.
Yeah.
The culture, there's different level of Chinese. You can be very
level
Chinese.
Of Chinese.
Yeah, there's different level Chinese. Like, if you actually go to China right now and you take a vacation for a month, you're gonna meet very Chinese people, right?
Yeah.
Versus coming to America and meeting international students, you're like, oh, okay. And then you go to the next level up, and you go to the people who are like been here, immigrated here, but they still have some Chinese roots. And then of course, at the end, then you will see people who are ABC, like completely Americanized. So every tier is different. They interact differently.
Yeah.
Their culture is different. Like, it's very interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. But I mean, going back to the topic
Yes.
with like, oh, how do I feel about being Chinese and Asian
yes.
right now? Like I definitely like want to connect with my Asian heritage more.
Yeah.
But also, I think because we live in the Bay Area, it's
Yeah.
a lot easier to, I think, accept ourselves. I think there's, I think over time, especially during the time that we grew up, there's a lot of empowerment just
There
in
is.
being yourself,
There is, yeah.
accepting yourself,
Yeah.
love yourself.
Love yourself.
So then I think like I've also learned to accept like who I am. Like I didn't like get, eyelid surgery, although I did think about it for
Yeah.
a while.
Yeah.
Because I think it's good to be yourself and good to be unique.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
And I 100% support that, No, seriously. I had no, it's funny because a lot of times people might think, oh, you work in that industry, so you always encourage people to get it because you've seen so many of them and you want their money or stuff like that. So actually, I'm quite the opposite. Like, when I have like patients coming in, when they're asking, do I need a surgery? I always tell them, I don't really think you need it unless they actually do need it. Most of the time, because it's cosmetic, it's elective. You just like,
Yeah.
no, I think you're good. Maybe I'll see you in 5 more years though, because there's people, they think like, they're maybe not like exactly like you, but they look in the mirror, they see this small thing, that unevenness,
Yeah.
and they're like, oh my God,
Oh yeah.
I need to get it changed. But I'm just like, really? I don't see it. Like, I really don't see it. Like, I know it bothers you, but like, I don't recommend it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Things like that.
It is. Yeah. Well, we'll go into it like another
we
time.
can go
for
another
sure,
time.
because
Yeah,
it's such a
voluntary.
big topic that
It is
I
such
think
a
we can
big
go
po-
on
We
on
can.
about that too.
We
Yeah.
can. It's a good topic
Appearances
to
and
talk about.
self-esteem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
How about for you?
how about for me?
Yes.
So for me, I think quite the opposite of what Queenie said. Because Queenie wants to be more immersed in the Chinese culture. Like, right, she wants to go to Hong Kong and then she kind of wants to be immersive in that. But I'm actually the opposite, whereas I thought I actually have been immersing myself in American culture more because, I have been away from the birth country for so long, and I've been, in America, and I've been traveling to other countries as well. And then me thinking I'm really embodying like the American culture in me now, right? No, I'm not. Just in my head. Yeah. So like I thought in my head, I was like, wow, Lily, you're very Americanized now, You're not ABC, but you're almost there. And then I'll talk to my friends. I'll talk to Queenie. I'll talk to my husband, like, etc. Like all my friends. I'm like, hey, what do you guys think, And then everyone unanimously say, what do you mean? You're fob.
What? No, I've never.
Yeah, you did. You were like, I asked Queenie, I was like, hey, use a word to describe
I
me.
think you asked me about your accent,
Oh.
right? Or do I have an accent and something like that?
No,
right? Did
no.
you?
I specifically asked, like, look at me, Queenie. Like, can you describe me in a word? Like, what do you think about my style? And she's like, a fob, like a rich Asian fob.
No, I said an international student.
That's the same thing.
It's not a fob. It's different, guys. It's different.
Okay, fine. Queenie said international students. Like, basically, the point is, no one ever said, "Wow, Lily, you're really embodying ABC
American.
look.
You're so American.
You're so American." No one ever says
Why
that.
not? Why don't you accept that?
You know what? I don't understand. Maybe it's my face. Maybe
I think it's
just
just like
look
the
Asian.
way that you do your makeup.
Yeah.
It is very like
More Asian.
more like yeah.
I mean, I do try the American. Like, I had my Kylie Jenner face.
But you don't do like the cheekbone and then like the falsies and stuff like that. You still do it in a very like Chinese, not Chinese way, like
Yeah.
Asian way that complements your face. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it doesn't look like myself if I do all the falsies and stuff like that. I did do it when I used to stream though. Like, I tried to look very different. I might have looked
She just
ABC.
exposed her stream.
I exposed myself. But honestly, I realized sooner or later that that's a fake me. So I actually went back to my natural makeup. But honestly, I thought like maybe more so than my appearance, I thought like maybe the way I act and stuff like that would be like kind of more Americanizing culture. But I think like people who knows me the best, like who hangs around me all the time, are like, no, you're still a fob, in multiple ways. And even though I don't understand it, because I don't think that I'm behaving like a fob necessarily, but I've learned to kind of accept that. I think sometimes growing up, though people think fob is like you probably don't think fob is a bad thing, but because
you grew up,
I grew up and
you experienced
I am a fob.
the trauma.
Yes. Like it's just traumatic because people actually, when they call you fob, it's not like a nice thing growing up. People are like, when you say you're a fob, that means like, wow, you look super Chinese.
You don't belong here.
You don't belong here. Like you have an accent, you dress weird, you smell like all that stuff. You smell like chicken feet. I don't know, like dim sum. It's just like just being a fob. It's just like there's so many negative like things growing up, like from my experience, right? So then I was like, I tried really hard to assimilate. I did, like, because I want to feel like I belong, because I was in a white neighborhood and everyone's very Americanized, and I'm like, okay, I want to like feel like I can belong in this new environment, and I'm like trying to make this discovery. And I thought like now that I'm much older, I was like, oh, have I officially been more
assimilated?
Americanized?
Have I assimilated?
Because now I'm like, dude, when I was in China, it's only for 10 years. Right now I'm in my 30s, so it's more than double the time I spent in China. And then you would think like, now that I haven't been back there, like my culture, my actions, stuff like that, especially marrying my husband who's also very Americanized, I thought like, oh, I would be like pretty Americanized now. But no, people still think I'm a fob. And but
it's not funny.
It's not
but
funny.
I don't know why I keep laughing.
You laugh and it makes me laugh. It's not funny, but honestly, to this day, I realized something is my husband raised a good point. He's like, why do you always think fob is like a negative thing? Fob is like a good thing. Like my husband don't mind being a fob. He's happy if someone says, oh, you're a fob. That means he's connected to his also Asian culture.
Yeah.
And I kind of understood that. I'm like, oh, as an ABC, sometimes people don't feel like they belong in either culture. But then like when they think about fob, it's not negative. To them, it's like, oh, I'm assimilating to the more Asian culture. I like that because I want to be more Asian. So it's actually a good thing. And I think it's because my background that made me think it's a negative thing. But now that I'm like listening to him, I'm like, okay, I'm starting to accept it. Yeah, that makes sense. Like, why am I denying that part of me? Like, that culture, like suppressing it, thinking, oh no, I don't want to be that way. But in fact, it's very good to embrace who you are, what your culture and what you stand for. So these days, I'm okay if you say, hey, Bob. I'll be like, yeah.
I was also gonna say because you brought up behavior, right? Like you like to wear like a very wide
I do,
brim hat when she's in the sun.
Yeah.
And what else do you?
That's very fobby
already. Like I would say that's like, I wouldn't say it's a fobby thing, but I would say that's a very like Chinese Asian thing to do just to protect your skin from the sun.
Yeah.
My mom does that in the car. She does that in the car.
I do that in the car too.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I put it on a hat once in a while too.
Yeah.
But
you should put on a hat more often.
I should.
Yeah.
The sun here is really
It's very
strong, guys.
very
We just talked about that.
Yeah, we did.
But yeah, like those behaviors are still like very Chinese people, quote unquote, right?
It's very
so
Chinese,
then it's like it's not. I wouldn't say you're very fobby though.
Yeah.
Like because fob is like fresh off the boat. Like you are
Right.
not fresh off the boat.
No, I'm not.
But I would say that you have Asian like cultural practices or like
I
behaviors.
still do. Yeah. I think so.
But like when was the last time you went back to China
I think
or to your hometown and stuff like that?
it was like 2007.
2007. Okay, so
Yeah.
then it's been almost 2 decades.
Yeah.
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 Okay. Wow.
It's been a very long time.
Yeah. Like, but I think like if you go back now,
Mm-hmm.
I think people will think that you're very American.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think if I'm in China, it dropped me off, right?
Yeah.
People be like, oh, that's a tourist right
Yeah,
there. Yeah, because I don't have the culture in me anymore.
Yeah.
And my Chinese is not even that great, even though,
Really?
like,
You can
yeah.
still read it though.
I can read it. I can read. I can write. I can type. Like all that is fine. But I think one of my major issue is like sometimes I can't formulate how I want it to like sound like. Like there will be like a sentence like in my brain. I'm like, oh, I want to say like
You
this.
know it in English now.
Yeah, I know it English, but like
Do you think in English now?
I do. I do. Yeah, I used to only think
She
in
has
Chinese.
assimilated,
Yeah,
guys.
I have. Like, because before when I'm learning Japanese, I'm always translating into Chinese. Like, it's like first thing I think about is like, oh, like that's how you are. But then I think maybe after college, like these days, when I'm learning Japanese, I'm like, okay, what is a mini English? Like, what is,
Wow.
yeah. So I've become a little bit more
Congrats.
Americanized.
Or
Thank you.
I don't know. I don't know. No,
Yeah.
it's not congrats.
Oh,
Shame on you.
shame on me for
Shame on
forgetting.
you, yeah.
Forgetting my Chinese. Yes. So I haven't been there for a long time. Yeah.
Are you planning to go back? Do you have any desire to go back?
Oh, I do actually, which is funny. I actually really want to go back because like my parents go back all the time and they tell me how fun it is. They're eating out all the time. I'm like, shoot, I wish I'm in China. Like I don't need to be spending $10 here when I can spend $2 there and get much more stuff.
Yeah.
Right? It's like cheaper there. But then I have people who are like, no, I will not go to China, Lily. I'm gonna, the moment I land the airport, I'm taking the next flight out of there. And I'm like, why? Why are you guys like this? And I think it's the media. I blame the media a lot, that it plays a huge part on it. I think there's a huge divide, which is another topic for another day totally, between America and China right now. So a lot of people don't feel comfortable, especially my ABC friends. They're just like, no, I'm not going there.
Yeah.
And it kind of hurts me a little bit because, I was born in China and the China that I know back then, it's very nice. Everyone's really nice and has a lot of culture things. But then people are kind of not too scared to go back these days to like kind of visit, and that's kind of sad. Yeah.
Yeah. I think I have some of that. Like I'm a little scared to go to China.
Yeah.
But then I did go to China and it was actually really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I think people have this like this fear because the media is implementing like, thinking, oh, China like is like friends with North Korea. So like, what if you can't come back? And I'm just like, guys, come on! Like you're jumping like 3 hoops.
Yeah,
That's really crazy.
Yeah, you're extrapolating
You're
so
extrapolating.
far. Yeah.
Nobody cares about you. Like you're just a tourist.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah.
But-
unless you're like very trying to like get yourself in trouble and stuff like that,
Yeah, of course.
Like if you're just like, trying to enjoy the culture, like enjoy the views and stuff
Yeah.
like that, nobody's gonna do anything to you.
If you're trying to get in trouble, you can get in trouble in any country.
That's true.
Because there's laws in every country. You try to break their law, you're going to face some jail time. So
Exactly.
Yeah, just be a good citizen. Like just be aware. When you go to a country, it doesn't matter if it's China, Sri Lanka, or like what are some other countries that has a lot of rules? But like the whole point, like even Singapore, right? Singapore has like a lot of chewing gum
No gumming.
stuff.
No gums.
Or theft, stuff like that. Like you have to kind of learn about the culture before going and just understand that
And just be
your
respectful.
action,
Yeah, anywhere you
be
go.
respectful.
Yeah.
Make sure that your action is like within the legal limits, like not trying to pull some shenanigans like some tourists I saw.
Yeah, I think it's because like America and China probably has very different values, right?
Yeah.
Because like we're like at least in America, I mean in California, we're like very liberal. We have very liberal views.
Yeah.
And then I think China just has very, very conservative views.
Yeah.
So I think it's like a cultural, like a political thing even.
It's a political thing, but the crazy thing is you will be surprised because China's really big and they have many citizens. Not everyone is conservative either.
Yeah.
Like I've seen people who like who are more on the other side of the spectrum, right? Versus so there are people who are very conservative, of course, but there's always gonna be people who
That's
are
like the mainstream, I would say. Yeah.
Right. The mainstream, I think, at least like what we. I think that's what China is becoming more conservative. But I do know there are citizens in China who might be, even though the country itself is becoming more conservative, they are actually a bit liberal.
Like the people
The
that
people,
actually like.
yeah, I've seen interviews all the time where they're like, hey, how do you feel about this? And you'll be surprised, some Chinese citizens are very liberal minded. They're actually not what people think. Yeah, so it's interesting, guys. Like, don't, I guess you shouldn't put everyone in the box.
Yeah, I think even for me, like sometimes I hesitate to like say I'm Chinese.
Yeah.
Not because like I don't want to be associated with China, but then I feel like I'm more Hong Kong than I am China.
Yeah.
So then I sometimes just say I'm from Hong Kong.
And that's totally fine.
Yeah.
I think that same thing was like Taiwan, Hong Kong, like a lot of, or like Macau. Culturally speaking, Hong Kong, Macau, and Taiwan, they're not like really like they're not always like being was under Chinese ruling, right?
yeah.
And especially like, for Hong Kong and Macau, it was actually ruled under the British government for a
yeah.
while. And it was recently kind of given back and reunited with China.
Yeah.
And so like culturally speaking, because they've kind of been departed and the ruling were different, it's not exactly the same either. So I understand the point of view of a lot of people who might not want to say, hey, I'm Chinese, because people might think, oh, you're from mainland China, right? They might associate you with a certain culture
Yeah.
versus you saying, I'm from Hong Kong, which is a little bit more liberal, right? Has been more liberal.
Yeah.
So it's very different. And of course, there's also other side of the spectrum where people didn't like that. They
Yeah.
said, no, why would you say that?
Yeah,
you're
like
Chinese.
Hong Kong's still part of China.
Right.
Yeah, that's my dad. Yeah, he's on that side.
Yeah, and I can see arguments from both sides. I totally understand. So I would say, I understand and respect people's decision of saying wherever they're from, because this is really something that they actually believe in, and that's okay.
Yeah, and I also think like what you said, like China itself, right?
Yeah.
Is very diverse. So
Yeah.
then I don't see like it. Like I personally am not against like China reclaiming Hong Kong, because
Yeah.
that was literally written in their agreements.
Yeah.
With the British.
Yeah.
Back in the days, I guess.
Yeah.
But I would say that like Hong Kong is very different from China, and if China really wants to like implement a lot of like
Yeah.
rules and stuff like that into Hong Kong, I would say it would change Hong Kong a lot, and I would be personally very sad to see that happen. Yeah, like especially like because I know like China mainly teaches Mandarin, but Hong Kong, like I don't know if they teach Mandarin.
They are starting. They're kind of enforcing it. I don't know if it's a strong enforcing, because I'm not too knowledgeable in that area. But I do know at one point, I think China does want to kind of
Yeah.
implement like the same language, like because there's too many dialects in China.
That is true.
Yeah, so Mandarin is like their main language. Like growing up when I was in elementary school, I can't speak Shanghainese. If the teacher catches me, if I speak the dialect Shanghainese, they'll be like, no, we speak Mandarin here.
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh,
so they
yeah.
catch you as a kid, and it's just
Yeah.
a school system that they're enforcing.
Yeah, I personally don't like that.
Yeah.
But I can understand why as a nation they would want to do that.
Yeah,
But yeah, there's beauty in everybody's like language.
there is
Yeah.
a lot of. It's kind of sad because a lot of dialects are dying.
So I got to keep my Cantonese and pass it on to my children.
Yeah, definitely. Like, don't be ashamed of your unique dialect, because those are where you're from, your culture, and like.
Can you still speak Shanghainese?
Oh, I can. Yeah, I speak with my parents all the time.
Oh.
It's not that great, but it's probably the same level as your Cantonese. Honestly, my Shanghainese it's even worse than my Mandarin. It's really bad. But I think like there's a level of like every time I speak it, it reminds me of the culture I came from, and it feels like good. It feels good. So the next thing we're gonna talk about is kind of, since this is Asian, Culture Awareness Month, we want to also give back to the community a little bit, and we want to kind of name drop some of the businesses
right, yeah.
that we wanted to support on this channel.
Yeah, we just want to support some local businesses. One of my friends, or one of
yes.
our friends, Uni, actually has a gift shop in San Francisco in the Mission District. It's called Unico. And she sells blind boxes and art and stickers as well as jewelry.
Yep.
So if you are in the Bay Area, check it out. And also other things that I want to name drop. Didi, the movie, which was directed by Sean Wang.
Yeah.
I think he lives in Fremont, or he grew up in Fremont, and so I think like his story and the Didi story is very close to home to me, at least, just like as a Chinese American growing up in the Bay Area. So if you guys are interested, check that out. And lastly, I also want to shout out Cat's Eye.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because one of their members is, I think, like Chinese American.
Oh,
I think like half.
who's that?
Megan.
Oh,
Yeah, so
I didn't know that.
I saw
Yeah.
this like clip of them all speaking their like all the different languages that they speak.
Yeah.
And she speaks Cantonese.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like, and I just wanted to shout Cat's Eye out in general because they
That's
are
awesome.
all amazing. There's like
Yeah.
Asian Americans there. I mean, no, not Asian Americans.
They're
Yeah,
almost-
Asian Americans.
yeah.
They have like
Asian
everybody
Americans,
there.
Everybody. Very
so,
inclusive.
yeah.
And I love the direction that, you know, what they mean
Yeah,
as a group.
yeah, they're gnarly.
gnarly. Everything's gnarly.
Yeah, how about for you? Do you
Oh,
have
for
anything
me?
else you want to shout
Oh,
out?
shout out.
Yeah.
I guess kind of add on to that, you know, I really like the movie Crazy Rich Asian. I love the author, and I love that it's an all Asian cast. You know, I think that means a lot in the Hollywood industry.
Yeah.
And another thing is, I like the TV show Fresh Off the Boat.
Oh,
Bob. That was pretty nice. I also liked, of course, the author for that one. It's pretty funny. And lastly, I want to shout out to all the milk tea places. Thank you for making all the delicious
Hey
milk
Tea.
tea. Like
Yeah.
Hey Tea, one's like my go-to. Moon tea is also my old
TPT.
go-to. TPT.
My favorite.
Seriously, like love seeing all the Asian business, like really bring part of Asia to America, and
It's
everyone
like
loves
becoming
boba.
mainstream. Yeah.
It is very mainstream.
Yeah, boba at least is.
Boba is bring part of our culture, which I really love that. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So with that said,
Yes.
we're gonna wrap up.
We're gonna wrap up. Thank
Yeah.
you so much for watching, and hopefully you like today's topic. And if you guys want to know more, make sure you check out our channel and subscribe. All right, guys.
We will see you very soon.
Very soon.
Bye.
Bye.